Alright, hello everybody, this is Demon coming back for another round of Final Fantasy XIV's Endwalker. So, this will be the intro that I'm using for it for a while, guys, just because I'm probably going to be playing this straight and probably won't have time to do intros and outros. So, I hope everybody here enjoys, and thank you for watching this, and let's go ahead and start it right up. Alright, welcome back, guys. So, finally had some free time. I decided I'm going to try to do one episode of this today. I'm probably going to stop this around 9ish. In case there's any jump cuts that need added, because I have something go on, I will be adding them. I'll just have to remember to take note for when I do them. So let's go ahead and start. It's been a little bit since I've played. I've actually had a few days away from doing Endwalker. Sadly enough, those queue times, man, are killer. I actually am starting to get hit by them really bad. I've been sitting in queue for like the better part of an hour or two trying to get in. So let's go ahead and start it up. Having spent most of my time in Thavnir, I've yet to fully grasp on the lie of the land here, or lie of the land. Should be lay of the land. Here in Charlian, even finding my way to the Annex proved a challenge. Stinian returned not long after we departed from the Studium. It's a shame that he missed the chance to attend our lecture with the Scholarch, or perhaps not. Yeah, I can imagine how that went. Seems I've done an adequate job of relaying Scholarch Montecane's lecture to Raha. Given his experience in the field of souls and memories, he had no trouble understanding it. Better not let your guard down around Key. One small favor becomes another, then another, and before you know it, you'll be running to the other side of the world instead of a bottle of wine or some other rubbish. Then again, it might make for a welcome change of pace from your usual heroics in the Scholarch set. It could also lead to interesting discoveries. Yeah, that was the one thing I had to re-watch because I had to double check to make sure I understood it. So we finished the lesson, Scholarch, and he described something, or described things with the soul and how some things can be hidden from that soul, the memories, depending on how the stuff goes on. So I want to know more. Raha, explain more. Welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studio proved most educational. While you're away, I received word from my fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Laminza. So the time has come to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of stores. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Rainy is your mercenary. Phew, I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Vierta and the alchemists of the great work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales. So much you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you coming with us? Are you not coming with us? As much as I'd like to escape the Foreign's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and other allies. Luck will soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn, I feel it, to Laminza. If you learn aught of interest, be sure to let me know. In the meantime, I will do what I can to aid our cause, though I fear that that will be precious little given the circumstances. I will say this much. The days I have been getting on, I've been doing, I think... I've only been on for like an hour or so, so like my limited time scale and the fact that I tend to not have too much time in the late evenings to record and stuff does have an impact on what I can do. But nonetheless, I've been doing a lot more of the, I've been focusing on the Sylph and Ixal quests for, Beast Tribes. Because again, I'm still trying to do them as well. I'm holding myself to not playing this game, dungeon-wise, without first, you know, playing, at least off-screen. I don't want to play it off-screen. I also have been doing pretty well keeping away from for the most part, the spoilers. A lot of the stuff that still people are posting, I think in terms of streams and stuff, I think they're tending to keep it rather limited. The areas themselves, they don't care about posting. It's like main story quests are going to kind of hold off until, at least for a couple more weeks. And I know with everything going on in terms of the queue times and everything, which are killing the game a little bit more and more as time goes on. Again, it's not destroying it, but it definitely is hurting the game's overall launch. And to be honest, I would say this. I mean, for those who do wait in queue, it's like if you want to play. Wait in queue. Decide when you want to do it. And I'm assuming the first 3 days were going to be bad, because the early access came out on a Friday. I stayed logged in. I stayed logged in all day long. The only time I logged out was when it was about... I think I logged out almost 20 after 8. At 8 p.m. That is when I finally logged out of the game. And then I got back in queue to play again because I learned that because Red got on, and Red actually finally got the starter edition for this. So, if I have been getting on, it's primarily to play with him and help him out. Because he's still going through Realm Reborn. I forget exactly where he's at. I think the last thing I double checked, I looked back on one of my episodes to sit there and get a rough estimate of where he's at. I think he's at like episode 16 or 17, so he's like, he's almost through. I think he's in part 3 of Realm Reborn, so he's getting there. I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seats here and the Sultana, 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? I mean, we're all friends at this point. My apologies for calling you away from Charlene at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It's the only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it's only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It's reassuring to learn that we are all in accord. But might I ask you what your plan entails? Hitched entirely on the warding skills and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlene, the allied nations have engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of Kobold, Sahagin, Ixal, and Anada have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Rods and Hod has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the Sounds of Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telephore at bay, we will dispatch our finest strike at the enemy's heart, Garlean. These brave few will be Ilsabard Contingent. To think much progress has made in such short a span. The objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlean. As previous report, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered, robbed of their free will. They serve the Telephores every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for a strategic or political gain, but it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is Colossal Tower, the Thancred and Eorzeans observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there is reason to believe that the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what is yet to come. Until the tower result was toppled, we failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of Telephore. There's certainly no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the Spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Y'shtola's analysis of the Tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zolt, the spires siphon aether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we cannot be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me that in the least it's being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that, regardless once we have uncovered the truth. We'll bring the schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good, but what could you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider an official request from the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For honor and glory, for the people of Garlemald, for revenge against Telefore. I'd say for the people of Garlemald. Let's do it for them. Couldn't have put it better myself. Charlotte, Thancred, and Eorzeans have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you've delivered the warding scales to Alamiga, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Rabon and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs, and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telefore, so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. Oh my god, we're going back to Alamigo. Oh my god, dude, it's been so long. 900 gil to transport myself. I'm having a stroke right now internally as I realize that I don't want to spend money. That's the one thing I told Red that he has a blessing with, is the fact that I have that 4-seater car, so I can drive him where the hell he wants. I think it's kind of a win-win for him, though. He gets to do that, and I get to play the game a little bit more. And it gives me something to do besides, like, waiting to play more of this. Oh my god. There's a lot of people here. Holy shit. I must quiz Thancred and Origins conditions we expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Will I need to keep my ears covered? They can only be so sensitive at times. I admit that this is all rather daunting, though not quite in the way I was expecting. We'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance finest, the best of the best, the warriors of light, the warrior of light, and well, me. Silly, I know. Perhaps it's the way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about, marching into Garlemald. You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who's selected for the Ilsabard contingent. I have a few people in mind. Care to make a friendly wager? No. Fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a sire. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he go. Like a galleon was swept up in a strong breeze. Rest assured, he's always been there when you need him. Probably. Wow. If Emmerich asks me asks after me, say I'm getting on fine and leave it at that. Don't dare breathe a word about the cord. Let's talk to Robon. The Wanderer's return. You've been busy bringing down a tower, producing the keys to destroy the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we've seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto the Garleans have made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight. Oh, okay. Where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emmerich struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing that Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Gaius is back, baby. Much has occurred since we parted ways in Wales. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange, I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Telefori have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people, but though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varus and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I'm branded a villain or here as a hero, it would only hinder your efforts. I understand where it is in your hands. I doubt to be pleased to see Champion ever set foot on Garlean soil. We will deliver your people from harm in your stead. I think we give him reassurance. We'll free his people. For what it's worth, you have my gratitude. You and your comrades have the strength and courage to deliver my countrymen. I am certain of it. In light of Gaius' rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said, might I ask you to escort our friends inside. You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. Damn straight, Emmerich. Ooh, I wonder what this new outfit looks like. Poggers. Let's see. It's not... Wait a minute, which one was it? Oh no, I didn't do it yet. Wait. 2, right? Let's see what she looks like. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Although I ain't using this. Glamour plate. I don't even want a glamour plate here. Wait, what? Why? Wait a minute. I can cheat this. Can one of you guys get me up to the one area? I can't get out of this. This is stupid. Why can't you glamour plate here? Alright. Jump cut. I'll give you guys a jump cut, so we're at 8:39. I'll have to remember that. Alright, everybody, I'm doing better now. I actually got that updated. All Jara's hold lines may well devote our attention to Thea's body in front. So the guy's bells, the horrors he must have seen, many of his own making, I do not doubt. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varus' murder, though I am rather less recognizable on sight, so it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. But it's easy for some people to forget they're civilians in Garlemald too, when the only Imperials they've ever known are soldiers. Okay, these people gotta get their stupid giant-ass chickens out of the way. I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with the Lunar Primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm is described as with the spitting image of Temiat. It would seem she too continues to wage war against the Telefori. Oh, bad. Once we have seen the contingent on its way, I will return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be traveling with you to Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I do not welcome the challenge. This old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. Regardless of how my country receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly, underestimate it at your peril. I will say this much, if there's one thing I wish we could do is actually just use glamour here in the city. I don't know what causes that, and maybe it's not considered a safe area, but when I went back to Roger's Reach, I could. So if you're having the same issue I have, which is you're trying to use a custom outfit, just go to Roger's Reach. It's the cheapest thing you can do. What is this? The other party members, the Ilsabard contingent, are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way as soon as you are ready. What is that mystery gift? I want to know what it is. What are you giving me?
By the 12. Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world.
Look, it's our buddies from the Bard quests.
Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Oh my god, Emmerich gave up Lucia for us?
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention.
Is Lise coming with us?
Might I ask you to speak first?
Oh wow, the Elder Seed's here, sending one of her boys.
If I must, I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation, here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer. We shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlean. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sickard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hillfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlean, not for plunder and glory, but the promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do. Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy. Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we.
The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest.
Oh, we're getting Pippin? Pong?
If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Terrapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's a badass group.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction.
Oh my god, which one of you said it? Great Orion J.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us.
Great Orion J. I bet Thanker's the Master Matoya one, but that avatar of destruction is Orion J in a nutshell.
And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good
That's
long
good
rest.
stuff.
But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilsabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require. The four high houses, House Hydaelyn foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolain!
Manny's here.
Ah, yes. Emanolain de Forton, at your service.
Thank God Lord Manny's here. It's gonna be
Though,
a fun day.
lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
I feel like they switched his voice actor, didn't they? Give him sounding a little bit older. May your graceful prancing lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy forward may be all that stands between us and certain doom.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea.
I don't know if I like the new voice actor or not. I like the old one more.
Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the Shinobi of Doma?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations.
Oh
According to
my
Lord Heal,
God.
however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Oh, they are not sending those two idiots. They're gonna destroy everything.
Out of my way, you craning fool!
God help our souls. She's gonna kill everybody.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Kill Cyrena.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach.
She's gonna blow up the entire city of Garlemald.
But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked.
the enemy.
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Sid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Gaius bloody Baelsar himself is working to help rebuild Whirlid, a nation he once conquered. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garland Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us. So, it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
This is badass. I like this. We've been part of a joint military operations like the Spore with far greater numbers, but for some reason this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there is already a palpable sense of camaraderie. I'm talking to everybody here, dude. So Lucia's in command. Regardless of her background, she's a Temple Knight through and through. I dare say her Garlean roots are all the more reason for her to lead us in this mission. This is extraordinary. To be in such a company to fight our allies have to offer with comrades such as these, we're bound to succeed. I'm certain of it. I was half expecting to find a man who taught me red magic almost on but he's nowhere to be seen. I suppose he's had his share of unpleasant experience with the Empire, but so have we all. Perhaps there's some other reason. Well, in any case, I have a feeling I'll see him again once it's all over. I'm sure he is pleasantly surprised by how much my swordplay improved since we last met. Blessed are we to have countless steadfast allies over our journey's course. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances who in time shall come to be our comrades and mayhap friends. Yay, I got friends. They're close scouts of Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they're an absolute joy to work with. I gotta talk to Lord Manny. But well, if I'd known there was such a overground this would turn out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems the perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Sirena and Sadu of the Steppe? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of the fellow with the enormous axe. Sadu will rock your world, dog. Manny, Lord Manny. Dude, you ain't gonna make it past this daughter. She's gonna kill you. She'll rock your world. Glad to see you well, Hydaelyn. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I had agreed to come in hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer, and they danced the world fell to ruin. In blinding chaos she spied blackened silhouettes and knew at once that one was yours. Yet we knew not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. But whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveler. I care not for the Iron Man or the troubles, is destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. I don't know. Even so, I would say I've agreed. I volunteered to join his band at Serena's request, and she thinks it's a worthy cause, and that is reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She has much better company on a hunt than any of the Steppes' oafish men could dream to be. Oh god. The mole champions of the Nodum and the Darthals have sent so many here. I have thought to defend the Steppe in their absence, and I would have done so were it not for my stepbrothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them unto victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of the feral Darthali dog, as first among my brothers I could do no less than accept this challenge, my deeds will become the stuff of legends. Actually, am I the only one surprised Lord Magni was the one that didn't say anything during that whole thing and didn't want to kill each other? She did pretty good. Look, it's Sanson. Our prowess may have finally been recognized by the Order of Twin Adder. Naturally, Garlean is also here helping us. Whilst his ability as a bard is unmatched, I do worry about his judgment. However, you need not. I shall be keeping a close eye on him, I promise. So many people from so many places, I'm rather out of my element. Regardless, I'm a seed seer and will endeavor to equip myself accordingly. Can't lie to you, Hydaelyn. I wasn't entirely for this whole thing when Sansa spoke to me, but if it means you're brothers in arms, then who am I to pedifog? I shouldn't be so hard on him, I suppose. This bard unit is quite impressive. Really, yes. One must give credit when credit is due. Rather uncouth for one to do otherwise after all. Until the Empire falls, Garleans were the only ones we were allowed to impose tariffs upon at sea. We're easy pickings, but I made myself pretty ill. Since they've pretty much been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I return the favor and give a little something back. Often has father told me of the struggles faced by Alamigo in the days of the occupation. I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, her grace has elected to bolster the Ilsabard and contingent of guard, members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are in one to our commitment to the cause. I'm here representing the Pugilist Guild and the Master of Command. Know that I have your back to the bitter end, Hydaelyn. It seems so long ago we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Azim Steppe with Serena and the others. I'd say we are overdue for an adventure. It brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together, good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will be the mostly latter, but I like to believe we'll look back on these days more fondly in years to come. But for that to happen, we'll have to make it out to this alive. Don't you die on me, aye? I've led troops about over many times, but never a unit with such a diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you can provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. I appreciate any advice you have. I cast my lot to popularize the bridge divide between Garlean territories that all may be united in common cause. Though we are disparaged as a heretical element, dissenters look to destabilize the Empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I can hold out that one day that dream will become reality. Oh, you know what I bet they did? Is because I'm seeing somebody from the Pugilist Guild. I'm very curious if is it because my Pugilist is level 15. I don't see anybody from the Lancer Guild. But I do see the Bard Quest people. I bet if you do all the quests, I bet you get access to everybody and they're all here, dude. That'd be so cool. I wish I did that, but some people I guess will get to see more than others if I had to make the assumption on this. So let's talk to Y'shtola and we'll see what goes on. Besides the Gelots assembled here, the Amajal and several other tribes often send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telephore. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more that has been noted. We shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding seals to our comrades. Care to do the honors? We heard it would be cold in Garlean. We came prepared. There goes Cyrano. Well, talisman will keep these close at all times. Yes, I will see that no one misplaces theirs. Before I forget, I have a message from Hydaelyn. Innocent lands in times of strife. Together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Doma, like much of Othod, has been plagued by the towers, yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hian and Yugiri labor without rest to unite the people, and with their aid will keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and the Eastern Alliance will pay their efforts by ending this war. So these are the feigned warding scales, enough for me and my men, I see. Under normal circumstances, I would not be allowed to travel outside Twelveswood. The Elder Seasayer, however, has granted me special permission. She has bid me lend my magics to the people of Garlean while learning all I can of their ways. In so doing, I will come closer to understanding myself and the place in the world. Or so she says. I say it is past time our allies be benefited from the power of Seasayer's disposal. Some bemoan that we hide our light under a bushel, and I intend to address the criticism. I hear you've got something for us. Good. Now them scales everyone's been talking about, pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gil or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And for one more thing, I know that we're all thinking, why didn't they send Inzar instead? But if I know, all the Admiral Captain Hilford told me was that they needed someone to help safeguard the future, and here I am, can't say they haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land, in the middle of salt and snow of all places. Well, me and my crew will do whatever it takes needs doing. So let's set sail, however the saying goes, airships. Set the warding, see how I spy. Oh. Wow, look at these. Even at the laymen, like we can all tend bursting with ether, all the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, they'll give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlean. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all the 7 hills if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. Many thanks, these talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlean, sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. Now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed, but doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Emmerich, he would have had me put an extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. The future of Ishgard, Garlean, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. You have a scale warning for me too? Of course. Thank you for this and for doing such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice, if I may. We've been told by many to wear the coat of Ilsabard, and I cannot stress enough that is no token warning. I've shown specially made warming tinctures courtesy of alchemist skill, but understand they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now let us proceed to the Alamegan quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airships. Alright. Well, with that, unfortunately, we do have to end the episode, guys. So I think next episode we'll take the time to talk to everybody here in the group. I think this episode went on long enough. There's a lot more cutscenes than I was ready for this on this. And I did not think we would just be pushing straight to Garlean that quickly. as you guys can sit there and see, we're level 82 missions. I'm level 82. So I'm actually looking forward to this, man. It seems like it's going to be kind of fun. I know I seen something in terms of the quests online where they sat there and said the main quest missions may not get us to the exact level we need to go. Like the main scenario may not give us enough levels, so I'm kind of getting ready for that in case that's an issue. But if I had to guess, we're doing pretty good. I'm getting 462,000. Won't be enough, but we're getting there. So, say hello to Past Demon, as he always gives you guys, of course, the outro. So, see you guys next time. Alright, everybody, this is Demon telling you goodbye. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of Endwalker. Again, I probably won't get too lucky and have too many like openings because there's going to be so many people playing Endwalker. So, I'm doing a custom little outro for it this time around. So, as I always sit there and say, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks.